Hey, I know that we've been talking about some of these different concepts, but even though I don't have a great technical background, would you be interested in, just seeing some of these things that we've been talking about firsthand? I'm happy to walk you through a quick developer flow if you're interested. All right. Yeah, great. Let me just share my screen real quick and, I'll walk you through a simple developer flow. All right. Can you see my screen? All right, great. Okay, so let me just walk you through, some things that pertain to simple development flows. Over here, you can see that this is the GitLab SaaS, and specifically what we're looking at is GitLab source code itself. So this is our versioning software, and it's basically a complete full solution. So if you're used to GitHub or Bitbucket, then everything that you'd expect out of a SCM tool, it's something that we have here. Here you can see all the different files that are in my project, and we have a complete versioning solution. So what we mean by that is we can go into the history view and see all the changes that are happening. So all of these changes have happened in the last couple of minutes, and who's made these changes and when, giving me accountability and transparency to my organization. And I can also see a history view of each individual file as well. So if I go down over here into this Docker Compose file, and if I click on this history icon, then you can see the different changes that have happened here. So over here, there's actually hasn't been any changes. So, okay, so now that we have a good example of our repo view, let's take a look at issues. So once again, issues are basically just discrete units of work for our engineers. And so, an issue could be creating a new chart, it could be creating a new button, it could be adding in some new functionality. And we have really great project management solutions here as part of GitLab. Over here, you can see that this issue has to do with adding in our chart to another part of our website. And you can see that over here, they're discussing what this work involves. And over here, our individual engineers are collaborating, right? And so one of the things that GitLab is really great at doing is increasing collaboration across your organization simply because so many different teams can use GitLab. We're one tool for the entire DevOps lifecycle, which gives us the ability to increase collaboration across your business unit. So yeah, the engineers are going back and forth. One person saying, things would be better if you did it this way. Another person could be saying, hey, I did this exact same thing. If you take a look here, then you can save yourself some time. So it's just a great example of collaboration across the different teams here. Let's take a look at some of the things on the right here too. So it's really important to have transparency and accountability in your organization. And so that's what we have here. Time tracking is basically going to give your engineers the ability to log the amount of time that they've spent in this issue. So management and leadership can have a better indicator of exactly where we are in any sort of project. We can also assign due dates and give it labels. So labels could be by engineering team. Labels could also be by business unit. We can give this issue weight too. So basically what weight means is that this is a really, really big work item, then we could give it a higher weight than if it's something small and surgical, like changing a button. And so yeah, this is an issue at GitLab. After engineers feel like they've solved their issue, then they submit what we call a merge request. And so over here is my merge request. And over here, once again, here's the overview of the description. The engineer comes in and explains what he did. And there's a lot of collaboration that we allow through the GitLab platform itself. So anyone has the ability to come in and write comments and basically suggest things. And this whole iterative process makes sure that the changes that are being made are really the best quality changes for our code. So the different engineers are just proofreading his change requests. And you can see the exact changes that are here. So all this green text they're trying to add in, the red text they're trying to subtract out and then add in this green text. And this is how my engineer has attempted to solve this issue. over here is the pipelines view. And this is really one of the fundamental values of GitLab, is the fact that we have all of this CI that runs in the background automatically, ultimately making sure that my changes are higher quality and also saving my engineers a bunch of time. So CI is completely built into GitLab itself. You don't need multiple tools doing different things and tying them together. GitLab does everything for you. And so you can see how this is giving our engineers valuable feedback. So these tests over here, they're passing with warnings. Over here, you can see that we've canceled some tests. If tests failed, then it would surface that too. And all of this, once again, is giving our engineers high quality feedback so that we can make the best informed decision about whether or not we should change this code in the manner that's described in this merge request itself. Over here, you can see an example of some of these pipelines that are running in my environment. And as you can see, there's many different stages to it. So the first stage, we're preparing our environment, then we're building images. And I really just want to call attention to this test environment, this test phase. Over here, this is really where all the magic happens and where my developers get feedback on whether or not they're going down the right path or not. So unit tests are running here, integration tests are running here, and also one thing that really sets us apart is our security tests that are running here as well. So things like SAST and DAST, and even things like checking for security vulnerabilities and our dependencies. So all of that is built into the GitLab CI process itself, ultimately making sure that my engineers have high quality feedback on the changes that they're proposing through their merge requests. So one thing that you may be, wondering about is like, hey, I have a very specific environment. I can't do all of this stuff. I want to do a subset of it, or, I want it tailored to some other process. And that's really where the magic of the .gitlab/CI YAML file comes in. So this is the file that determines what happens in the pipeline view. So if I didn't want some of these items, or if I wanted additional items, all I have to do is change this file. This is a file that lives in my repo itself, making things version controlled and really easy to see from an accountability perspective. So that's a simple flow for, developer flow for GitLab.